Good morning, my lovely crafty friends. Welcome back. Right, okay, so today we are back with another tutorial for the journal. We finished off here last time, okay? I've not made a tag or anything yet to go in this pocket. We still have this page to decorate, but before we go any further on doing this page today, I want to make a notepad to go on this page, okay? Because of the way of gluing it, etc., it's going to need time to dry. So I wanted to get that out of the way with first today. So I have been watching some videos, and if you remember a while back, I used to be on the design team for Victoria Designs. Now, lovely Tinny on there, she's an absolutely beautiful lady. She came up with the idea of how to make a little tear off tag book, and how to glue it around the edges so it was a tear off. So I'm going to kind of use her idea today and make a notepad to go in the back of the book. The only reason I kind of thought of this idea was because it's so much easier than trying to like use your double-sided tape and go across each page individually and try and stick them all down one on top of the other. So I'm going to give this a go. I've not done it before, so you ladies are here with me to give this a go, and hey, we'll just see what happens, shall we? Right, okay, so we need a pad to go in the back of our journal. If you have a little notepad, which I normally do cheat, I normally buy a packet of notepads from the shop and do it that way. I went back into the pound shop. They don't have the little pads that I like to use. They've got the ones with all the metal spiral binding down the side, which I don't want to use them ones. I just need little tear off tags. And I don't have the money at the moment to go and buy off of eBay, etc. So I wanted to kind of incorporate Tinny's idea with doing her tear off notebook, tag book, into this, and we'll just see if it works. If it ends up a big failure, then hey ho, we give it a go, you know, can't lose out. And we would just have to go back to making the old traditional way of the time consuming, you know, putting your tape across each page and doing it that way. Right, but I want to give this a go. So remember we had all these sheets of paper from cutting out your paper to go in your files. You have one that is your large pieces of your smaller pieces of paper. We're going to use your larger pieces, okay? Now I'm not going to cut down here to make it any thinner. I've measured it already. It is 2 7/8 across, okay? So the only thing you need to do is take 5 pieces at a time, I wouldn't do any more, and cut it down to 5 inches, okay, that way. So you want it 5 inches in length, okay, but only do 5 pieces at a time in your trimmer, paper trimmer. You do any more than that and I don't think it will come off. So I used 30 for my notepad, which I think will be thick enough, okay. Then I have cut a piece of card which is 5 inches long by 2 7/8 across, okay. So I have all my pieces of paper here that I've already cut. Now I didn't interfere with that way, again I just left it, and that is 2 7/8 across, okay. So I just cut down the length to 5, and then I cut my piece of cardstock 2 7/8 by 5, okay. Right, so what we need is a little pot like so, and you will need some PVA glue or some Mod Podge or whatever you have laying about. I have my homemade Mod Podge. Okay, I've made this one up myself, so I'm just going to give that a good shake up. I'm going to get myself a little brush, like so. Okay, you may want to grab yourself a baby wipe. I have a baby wipe on standby. Let's move that out of the way. Okay, and you will want to grab yourself some of these little clips. Okay, and that's just to hold all your card and your paper together in place. Okay, so I'm just going to, well, unscrew my lid. It seems to be well and truly stuck on there at the moment, and I'm going to put a piece of glue, a little bit of glue in my pot. Okay, I haven't got a lot in there, just a little bit. Right, I'm taking my card and my pieces of paper. I want to make sure that they are nice and straight. When you think you've got them nice and straight, you will want to use your clips to hold them all in place. Okay, like so. I'm just going to move that down a tiny bit until, okay, so it's going to be nice and flush across the top there, and you've got your card on the back and then your sheets of paper on the top. I'm taking my brush, I'm going to get some glue, and I'm going to very carefully place this glue across the top. Now you want to leave it quite thick because obviously you want to create that kind of sticky edge to your pad, you know, so it's like a thick glue that you get on the edge of your tear off pads, you know. And then fingers crossed, if this does work, then we can come back to this and just make the cover to go over the top. And don't forget, you will need quite a thick layer of this on there. So I just went across that way first to make sure that it is sort of across all the pages, and just go over it a few times like so. Just make sure you've got a nice thick layer of glue across there. And the reason I'm doing this now is because you are going to have to put this to one side to let it dry for a while, a good while anyway. Okay, so once you feel that you've got enough across there, I'm just going to take my baby wipe across the front page, up the side, and obviously just across the back there, just to make sure that there's no spillages. Okay, so wipe across the back. I know you're not going to be able to see this, but there's quite a thick layer of glue across there. Okay, and it is just across the top there. You may need to do a couple of layers if it doesn't work on your first time. And then I'm just going to take this, I'm going to put it to one side where it's safe, and I'm going to let it dry. Okay. And I'm just going to move my clips up a tiny piece there. And I'm going to get another one out. just to make sure. I'm actually going to stick one across the top, but I'm not going to put it all the way down, obviously, because I don't actually want it sticking to the glue, but that just helps to hold that in place. Okay, and then put that to one side and just let it dry. Now where can I put it so it's not going to get damaged? Okay, I'm going to put it over there. Okay, I'm trying to think of somewhere to put it that the cat is not going to jump up and knock it either and mess it up. Right, okay, so that's that. You'll need to wash and dry your glue pot, obviously. Okay. Right, so we now need to move on to our next page. Right, let's get that out of the way as well. So putting all my glues and everything away. Now what I did think with this back page, we don't want excessive amounts on here. Just simply because you're going to have your pad on here. You don't want it kind of catching or sticking together or anything like that. So what I might actually do with this page is cover the back there and then create a frame to go on there to put a picture in. I'm trying to think, or would it be better just to make like a little booklet to go on there, just so it can open out, and which might be easier. I'm just trying to think. So if I put a photo frame on there, then it's going to need decorating, and then the flowers on there might interfere with the paper pad that's on there. So I think what would be better would be just to make a little book to go on there, just so it opens out, and then the whole thing is going to close up quite nicely, and you can see, you know, how thick and chunky this is going to be, and it's going to have a pad and a pencil in the back as well. So I think, oh dear, please excuse me, I am absolutely shattered this morning. I didn't have the best night's sleep and I woke up with a really nasty headache this morning, so I'm kind of up to the eyeballs on tablets at the moment, so please try and bear with me. Right, okay, so we only have a few sheets of paper left as well. Now this is what I'm contemplating on. I would ideally like to use that last sheet to do the front of the notepad with. So I'm going to take that out and leave that to one side. Now we have quite a few sheets of this left, so we could make a booklet out of that, and we have one of this left. Okay, decisions. I think we should go ahead and make it with this. I'm not a lover of this one, to be honest. I don't really like all the books on there. I suppose they're okay, but it wouldn't be something of my choosing as such. Right, so we need our ruler. We need to measure to do a backing piece for there. 6 1/8 by 6 1/8 by 4 1/4. 6 1/8 by 4 1/4. So because I have to do this the hard way. We got 4 1/4, 4 1/4, and then we want it 6 1/8. So 6 1/8, which will be there, and then join these up like so. And cut this out. At least I remembered to put my glasses on this morning. Not the way my head feels at the moment with these tablets. This may end up completely and utterly wrong. Right, okay. So we take this, place that in there. That will fit nicely on there. Okay, so I'm going to glue the back of this. And stick this in here. So, okay, then, and shall we cut a picture frame, or, I think we will actually, I think we'll use a picture frame. I don't think the decoration's too much, the flower will interfere with that too much, so let's have a look, shall we? Let's see what picture frames I've got I can use, or where I put it. I left it on here. Oh, I put it away. So bear with me 2 seconds, guys, while I find it. There it is. I'll use that one. Okay, so what we need is a machine. I need to find a piece of card that's going to be big enough. That might do the trick. Right, I'm just going to cut that off across there. So it's a bit big. I'll lay that on there. I'm going to take the 2 frames that I want, that one and that one. I'll lay these down on here where I want them. And create that picture frame. I always use, with these little framelits, I always use another piece of card to go over the top of them, because I don't know if it's where my mats are getting so old, but I like it to cut kind of like first time. I always run it through one way. And then back the other way. Like so. I'll put those away on there. Sorry, I like to put things away as I go along because otherwise things get lost. And I need to make some pads for these dies and things to go in as well. Right, okay, so we don't need that piece, we don't need that piece. We can get rid of them. We have our frame that we can now use on there. So move that out of the way. Alright. So here is our frame. We need to leave the top of it open, remember, so you're only going to be gluing around the 3 edges and you want to keep the glue right on the very edge. And so there's room to get a picture in now. Here we go. Oh, my glue's going to start playing up this morning, which we don't need. I'm just going to use my pin to unstick that. I'm just gluing right around the very edge. Make sure there's glue on there and it's going to stick. Okay, so leaving that top edge open and then place that on there where you think it's going to be central, like so. And just get that pushed down on the edges. Okay, and you've still got that top edge there that's open, like so, so you can get a picture in there. Okay. Right, so then I want something to go on there. So I might use another stamp. Let's take that one off of there. Use that one, that's Weepy Love. And as I said, if you've not, this is my first time using these ones, so just kind of peel it back with your finger gradually, like so, because if you pull at that and tug it off in one go, you could actually rip your stamp in half, which you don't want to do. So I'm going to use this with a scrap piece of paper and let it fit on there. Nope, that bit is too small. Oh, we fit on that piece. Yep, that will fit lovely. So let's just ink this up. Like so. Okay, that's one side. I keep forgetting to put my lid on here, and this is probably why it keeps drying up. So I'm just going to cut around this. That little bit because you might want another stamp to go on there, and then same as with the others, I'm just going to kind of distress the edges of this a bit. Obviously you have to be careful when you do this because you might rip it. So just give it a flick off, get all them little excess bits of fluffy off. Let's find a piece of card that will fit on there. So I'll take our glue, stick this down. Just turn it around that way because then I can see the corner. Like so. Take my little bone folder thingy and just give that a little push down. Like so. Cut around the edges of this, leaving a border. Okay, like so. Then I'm going to blow the back of this. I'm careful where I place it. That's going to be right on the edge of that frame there, so that's okay. If you're not sure where you're sticking it, you know, you can just get a piece of card and place it in the edge there and stick that down. Okay, so then you know you're not sticking it over the frame where you want your picture to go in. Like that. Then we should create a little flower to go on there, I think. Okay, what have we got? Let's use a piece of this again. Let's cut a flower from there. And we need a little black piece for the centre of the flower. Cool. I didn't want to cut that. That's a thick piece. Alright. I'll pick these up. I've done it again, look, not put my lid back on my glue. Quickest way for it to all dry out. And get me a pen quickly. And go around the edge of this flower. Don't forget, you know, if you're playing with things like this, you know, you can spend as much time as you like over it, or as little time. If you don't like to spend a lot of time but you want something effective, then use punches and things like this. If you want something that's going to go wow every time you turn a page, then use something like a die cut, you know, because you get more pretty things with a die cut than you would do with a punch. But you can use punches and you can make things look quite pretty by just using a punch. It all depends on what you want to put with it and how you decorate it. Take a little black piece and get that over. Right, so let's stick this on here. I have it at the bottom there so it doesn't, I'm hoping it's not going to interfere with our pad. On the other side, a little tap of glue in the middle there, and put our flower centre. On there like so. then I have some leaves left over here. I'm just going to cut them off. I've got it at the back of that one. Pop that one under there. Some glue on the back of this one. Pop that in on the top there. Like so. Let's just give them a push down. Make sure they're stuck. Again, taking my metallic pen, I'm just going to pop a dot in the centre of that flower. Like so. Okay. And there you have your back page there. Okay. Then we will move on to this page. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit bigger. And we need to create our front cover for our pad once it's stuck to go on there. So I'll be back in a little while, guys. I just want to make sure that my notepad is stuck and is doing what I want it to do. Okay, so I'll speak to you again soon, guys. Love to you all. Bye for now.